Hello, everybody, and welcome to Phoenix Gaming. I am your host, Nick Henning, and today we are going to be playing a two-player arena game of Earth whenever we fire off here. I realize that I haven't been posting a super ton lately, but as you can see from these lovely boxes behind me, we are in the process of moving. We're going to move into a house. I'm going to be a first-time homeowner, and actually I might be able to set up cool little studio. I have a green screen. Maybe I'll even buy a box light so I don't get this big shiny forehead here. We're gonna see how that goes, but we're pretty excited for it. But I have been very, very busy lately, and we'll have finished the move and hopefully set up the house just in time for what needs to be like a training season for me going into the summer here, because I am definitely pretty rusty on my gameplay. It's been a rocky few months for online game playing, and I'm getting involved actually in several different online board gaming things over the summer. So hopefully I'll be at my tip-top shape. And then, of course, we have the big tournaments, the WBC, World Board Gaming Championships, and WSBG, World Series of Board Gaming, coming up. So we'll need to get into tip-top shape for those. Let's talk about Earth briefly before this game fires off. I do believe that two-player Earth is like deeply different than four-player Earth. So, you can only take the lessons in this game with a grain of salt. You need to be a little bit more like water in four-player. And you need to, you have more control, certainly in two-player, significantly more control. I actually think that like comparing Ark Nova to Earth is like a pretty good idea, 2 to 4 player, just in terms of like how much the game state you're in control in. I think that is actually even more extreme in Earth though, because it's not even just the pace of the game, but it is also the selection of the actions and the setup of your boards that's going to influence how the game is going. I kind of expected I'd fire off with someone right away, so let me pause for you and we will kick off in just a moment. And we're live. That took longer than I thought it was going to. And cool, we're facing someone who is already elite status, so we know that they know what is up in this game. Alrighty. Let's take a look at what we got going on first. For both diagonal cards, I hate these ones. They're really advantageous to the person who goes first, so we're definitely at an advantage for completing this. Full sets of just all the different things, winter and summer. We're looking at bushes. I call these like bacteria in one continuous diagonal line, and water. So basically, we love habitats. Habitats are great. That's what we're looking for here. I want to look at my endgame goals and see if any of these work with those. None of them are particularly matching. However, I like to have the diagonal with the diagonal because the two diagonals stack pretty nicely on top of each other. So we're going to go for diagonal mushrooms here. And then we don't care about colors, but we do care about habitats. So I'm going to choose my my second card based off of these habitats here. Again, winter and summer are most ideal, but basically not clouds. So we're looking at these guys here. No obvious winners. It's probably going to be the hot summer climate or the tropical rainforest climate because they both got summer and water in them. I probably want to be drawing cards early. Looking at these, we get good... almost always I'm looking at the ones with the lower victory points. The ones with the higher victory points are almost never worth it. Here we have a winter. It is missing a second habitat, which is a little bit awkward. Comparing here and here, it's like two habitats we care about, but this is always going to refund our winter. We start with a couple extra cards compared to this one. I think this is going to be where we're going to go, even though we're a habitat short here. We're going to be planting lots of winters. I don't know that it makes a difference. I think we want to see cards. I think cards are generally going to be better. And, yep, that's what we're going to choose. Alrighty, we are composting 2 of these cards here. Hurricane's probably a top choice here. We're not going to get a ton of plants that we're going to convert into these little square dudes. Soil or sprouts or what it sprouts. The rainbow eucalyptus is kind of like terrible. 8 soil for 1 is like not great. This card is like really, really expensive. We're going to keep this card because it allows us to convert our plants into cards. These cards are a nice way to get some money early. This card is just a fine ratio for victory points. This card is really tough to pull off. Kind of depends on what our situation is. We're going to keep it. Volcanic Grounds is a really incredible draw. That's a super, super powerful card. So I dunked on 2 of these cards. That's a really easy compost choice for us. This is not a great opening hand for doing like diagonals and things like that. But we are going to fire off with... I think we're going to fire off with Volcanic Grounds and Prickly Pear. The one thing that's awkward about having to do this like snake diagonals twist is that you want, in your 4x4 grid, you want things to sort of, how do I do this? You have a 4x4 grid, and in row 1, column 2 is sort of the ideal place for your diagonal to be, because you can kind of run it down and like ding it around. But if you're building the diagonals for the snake, you don't want that. So since we want row 1, column 2, we're putting this bush in row 2, column 3. We're already kind of planning for that at this stage. So actually, I guess I was complaining about it, but it seems just fine for us realistically. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and plant out. An interesting question here, though, is whether we should be playing these 2 for the full cost of 6. We'll go to 0, which means we can't play anything if they plant. That's too risky. But the idea of like placing both of these and being able to like cash in is incredible. So we're going to plant both of these. Hope that if he plants, then we'll plant the African mustard after that. Yeah, and then we'll jam red and get ridiculously rich on soil. It's actually a pretty strong starting hand in terms of our soil situation. It's definitely a little bit awkward because I was planning on going like blue as my primary resource drawing. Let's see. Remind us what we like. We like mushrooms. We like bushes. We like not wind. I think beach is incredible. I think this is a really, really good endgame card. Lion's Mane here is a little awkward on the habitats, but it's a pretty good card. It's awkward in that like you need these growths, so you'll need to have drawn cards at some point in time. And beach is awkward. I really like this card. I would take this card in almost any other game. I'm actually going to end up taking this instead because filling the diagonals, I don't want to be playing a beach early in the game, but I do want to be filling the diagonals early in the game. In almost any other game, I would actually be taking the beach card first, but here we are doing the Lion's Mane. And we're pretty rich, so we'll see what our opponent does. We also get 4 sprouts here, which gives us, we only get 2 because I did not think about this aspect of things. If I had been a little bit more intelligent, I should have actually played the African mustard maybe up in the corner here instead to give myself the room for the sprouts. So I'm just going to straight up call that a mistake because I could play the prickly pear next, and in terms of their power level, they're functionally the same. We don't have soil concerns thanks to the volcanic grounds, so a little bit of a stumble on our part. If our opponent doesn't plant here, we're definitely planting on the next turn, but they are going to plant, so we're going to go ahead and put the African mustard in play. We're going to continue this sort of snake diagonal, right? Like this is going to be row 1, column 1, and we don't care about this particular piece in this spot. We're going to have a hard time with our mushrooms, so we're going to have, right, like our bushes are going to go like this, our mushrooms are going to like go like this. So we want to try to get a mushroom into this location. That's kind of one of the key things that we need to consider as we are building out our bow tie here, the snake bow tie. Good thing we have a mushroom available to us, so we know for a fact that we can do that. And we're now, unfortunately, in a position, if we had drawn something that was cheap here, we would have almost certainly planted again, just sort of like jamming out as fast as possible. In this instance, this is not cheap. It's not a terribly great card. We can trigger it all the time thanks to it's actually not awful. Now that I'm thinking about it out loud, I gain nothing. Hooray. Because 5-1 is pretty bad, but the power fires all the time, and we're about to be ridiculously rich thanks to our reds. We're going to go ahead and do that. I'd love to plant. If I could plant both of these, I would, but I'm a little bit broke. Drawing cards is a consideration with like taking the yellow action, but our opponent has a yellow. Yeah, a good yellow too. I think there's a good chance that they'll choose the yellow action on their turn. Yeah, and now we got to make this choice now about like whether we think Putrefied Land is going to be good in the long run. Oh, I am so dumb. I should have played Snow. I should have played Snow before making this decision to see if I could play something. So that's definitely an oversight. This is what I get for talking while playing, yeah? We're going to do it now, and we're going to cycle anything we don't want, like this Cherry Tree, no habitats, very costly for 0 victory points. That's a nice, easy choice. Had we played this first, we would have planted Lion's Mane and Oak Moss, the 2 cheaper cards. Lion's Mane going here, Oak Moss just going in the corner or something, out of the way of our little diagonal dudes. Our opponent's going to plant... I think we're planting afterwards, immediately. So we don't really care too much. We're just going to put this here knowing that we want our diagonal to go that way. It's a pretty good draw. So ideally we put another bush over here. So this bush is going to go right here because then we can roll it all the way around. It is speculating on drawing a lot of bushes because we don't want to have like a diagonal across the 4 here that does limit us from like maximizing at like 6 or something like that by doing this kind of like ellipse sort of looking thing. But we've got tons and tons of money, and our opponent's double planting right now. So hopefully for them, they've got something cheap or a way to get, I mean, they are getting an extra soil every time. This is, I think, one of the best kind of cards in the game. It's like get an extra soil every time you're planting. So they're in really nice shape there. And because of the way planting actually worked out, our opponent is advantaged because we screwed up by not playing the Snow. Our opponent's at advantage to complete the Snake bow tie first. They have some cheap stuff to play. And they get some benefits on under planting. It's really good. They're in great shape. We're gonna jam though. We're gonna hope that they're broke. We're gonna hope that they're gonna have card issues. I don't think we have a much better line where it's like we could take a red because our opponent is bad at red, but like we don't need the red. So we're just going to play out stuff. We're saving this for doing diagonal things, which does diagonal things with this, which unfortunately, right, those like diagonals, this check mark that we're going to build does not help with the Sneck. So we're going to throw this guy in the corner here. Actually, I guess this corner is slightly better in case we do go for like a 4 bush diagonal. Not the greatest draw. We're looking for cards that we can play out. Avocado Tree is affordable, but like not good. Pay 2 soil for 4. Okay on habitats. Glacier is okay on habitats. Continuous line for winter. You know, we could do some winter shenanigans. I do like Glacier and playing towards things like this. I think that's what I'm going to go with. I don't like Avocado Tree at all. It's a little awkward for us. We are having card issues for sure. Ooh, look at them with 8 sun already. Our opponent is in great shape. So, yeah, I mean, they had just sun on everything, including their starting cards. They got it about as fast as you possibly can. So be it. So if they plant here, presumably they're going to get the snake, and we're just going to play efficiently then. If they don't plant here, you know, I mean, they have 13 cards in hand because they get to draw an extra card. Oh, and they played this to draw 5. I see. Yeah, that's good. That's really good for them. We definitely have a card problem. We probably aren't going to take a red, even though we're kind of amazing at red. We're probably going to take blue because we need those 2 extra cards. unlikely that I'm going to take the yellow action because I've got two. Well, both of these require me to have growth, so actually I am going to probably take the yellow action. Interesting. This is tough. I mean, I'm for sure taking the money here, but this is tough because now I could. Ugh, I need cards so badly. I think this game is going fast. I don't think Putrefied Land is going to be played, even though we're pretty rich. We definitely want the card draw off of the Chinese peony here. In order for placing treetop things, I just always look for like, what's the biggest delta between the number and the bonus points, and then what's the fewest that I need. So Lion's Mane becomes the primary of all my choices here. And it's great that we're drawing these mushrooms, but it's a little bit awkward because we want to throw things on these diagonals here. I think we want to plant so that we can win the snake. We're going to have to throw one of our mushrooms in a place we don't want it to be, but I don't think we have much choice. We're going to put the glacier up here because we've got like ice situation going on here. We know both of our mushrooms have ice, so one of the other ice mushrooms is going to go right here. So we're most likely to be able to connect all of our ice over here, and then the other mushroom is going to go down here, which does suck for our diagonal situation, but you know, when in Rome, we're not in Rome. This is not so great because we don't have a lot of cards this cycle, so we're going to get this into play first. And we are really card starved. I guess we get the Emerald Boa first. Interesting choices, none terribly exciting. Penny Bun's probably the best just for the like cost, what it gives us. Moves us closer here. It's a mushroom. This is not terrible, the Bald Cypress, in terms of like the habitats. This is an okay ability. Steam Vents is like, I mean, it's 2 points, but like we need cards to play. I think we're going to stick with our objectives here, you know, because our diagonal mushrooms are going to give us points. We're looking for sets of things. I do need to remember this. That's important for the events to think about. In fact, we've got 2 reds. You could argue we have 2 yellows, 2 blues. We are going to play Hail. I think this is our second event. Normally, I wouldn't play something like Hail until the end of the game. It just so just victory point conversion, but it gives us our second event for the Fire Salamander. So I'd love to say that was like big brain genius, but it was like me coming down here and being like, oh, right, there's a Salamander in play. Now we want to get we want to get this in the long run, but now we're looking to get the winter before our opponent does. Remember, we want our winter to be kind of connected over here on the side. So, you know, we want mushrooms to go like this. Those could be all winter mushrooms. So this winter mushroom like has to go here. It's worse than this card. Like we should put the Penny Bun out. Where am I with winter? It's a tough call here. I need to draw cards next turn. And our opponent... So we're 2 away. I'm trying to think like if I put a winter out and then I like draw into a winter card, or if our opponent like puts a winter out and then plays 2 winters, like if they plant before us, they can actually beat us there. So how important is it to play this before we play this? I'm not taking the red action on my turn though, because I need cards and red just gives us money. Gives our opponents money. Pretty sure we're taking like the blue action or the yellow action on our turn. All right. River's hilarious. I don't think that anyone has enough blue cards for River to be that good of a play in this game. I actually also first, when I said it was hilarious, I thought it was the continuous water one. So it's always entertaining when you can try to pull off like 2 of those at the same time. It actually wouldn't be the worst board. Well, we don't have that much water. Yeah, we don't have that much water. Okay, so we need resources of all sorts. If we went with our blue, we actually could trigger both of these because we have one and this will make another one. We can't afford to pay for this. So blue's a pretty good option for us. We'll also draw 2 cards. Whereas yellow... Actually, yellow is maybe better. Blue is make 3 sprouts $2. Yellow is make $5 and more cards. Up, and our opponent played 2 blues. Well, that makes our decision really, really easy because that's now better for them. So we're gonna play yellow. We want more cards. Super. Okay, and we are updating. So here, biggest delta, 2 to 4. And what did we get? Easy with Spearmint is like a busted card. I don't understand how this card made it. It's free, it's a point, it's all the habitats, it's like a good power. This card is just absolutely insane. It's a role player. Like, it's nothing where you're like, oh, you're playing Spearmint, but like I'm almost always happy to draw it. It's really hard to say I'm not happy to draw it. What do we get there? Black raspberries, that's really, really good. Not the raspberries themselves, but we needed a bush. We need lots of bushes. And I think it's a winter bush too. Oh no, I lied. It's not a winter bush. Aren't raspberries a winter thing? Isn't that like a thing? But either way, I mean, it's a good point ratio. This is a good ability for us. The zinger or the ginger is end game points and really cheap, so this is a good draw. Marula is not going to get played. Wetland here is actually pretty good. It's worth at least 14 points, so this is our end game terrain that we're looking at. Also, it's notable that it has a winter, so we can use this to plug in a hole somewhere. Yeah, all that stuff is pretty decent. We've got to think about how our things are getting played onto the board. At this point, I don't know that we are going to be able to wrap all the way around. Well, we'll see. Yeah, if this was a winter card, it for sure would be going. We need this to be a winter space. And in the ideal world, it's a winter bush, but that's not the biggest deal ever. And we need this to be a winter space so that we can do kind of like a hook like this. Yeah, we need like a hook like this for our continuous line glacier. But we want it to be a mushroom ideally, although we've got room for the check mark unless we're playing lots of mushrooms, so it's not too important. What do we care about here? I think we're going to plant on our next turn, so we don't care too much. We're racing for winter, which our opponent is going to get before us for sure now that they're planting. Nothing we can do about that. This is a non-diagonal location that is a winter connected to what our winter plan is. I guess it is sort of a diagonal location with the bush situation. I think that's still where we're going. Oh, did he not? Oh, maybe he got up to 7. High tide is, I guess, fine for endgame. No, okay, he did get it. So he gets it before us because it's his turn to plant. So, okay, I mean, you know, it's 2-player. No complaints about splitting these 2-2. You know, we're pretty much all going to get them. So this is turning into a total wash, essentially, the race aspect of the game, which is fine. It's a little bad on our part. We're a starting player, and, you know, we lost the race. Our opponent's got... Oh yeah, one more, 11 to our 10. So he's definitely ahead of us. I think we'd try to choke him now with a plant. He gets 2 cards and $1. He might just be able, if we plant, he goes to 12. If he plants, he goes to 14. That's a little awkward. We're ultimately going to need more cards in the long run. I'm tempted to also do something like do blue right now to draw a couple extra cards. It's worth like plus. Does he even have? Oh, my guy has no. So that's a skip. Should have noticed that before. I think we're going to do blue here. I think we're going to get a bunch of cash. If he plants 4, 6, 9, 3, 5, 9, 10, 11. If he plants, he goes to 13. Yuck. 13's tough because then if I plant, he goes to 14 and that could end the game when I do, which we really don't want. Ooh, this is tough. I mean, we want to plant, but if we plant and then he plants, he can just end the game on the following turn. Right? If we plant, he gets 1, then he plants. I don't know that I can plant more than 3 cards in a row. And then if he's able to plant, I mean, him planting 5 cards in a row seems like a lot. Seems like a lot. Ah, man. All right, let's do this before it gets worse. I think it's about as good as it's ever going to be right now. Yeah, he's just managed to outpace us. We're having summer problems. This is not great. Part of it is having the cards that give you the planting benefits. So taking normal actions is better for us, but you know, planting is the action that you take. So we're gonna see. What we need is for him to be limited. We're gonna put this here. Better, same delta, but fewer required, and we know we're gonna eat some of these. Being awful slow right now, BGA. Thank you very much. Yes. Take 2 points, please. That's a pretty nice little guy. To this card we said we were never going to play. And then this takes away 2 points. This takes away also 2. Well, yeah, that takes away 2 points. That would take away 3 points. That's what I was trying to say. All right, draw 2 cards. Come on. Something. I don't know. What am I looking for? Oh, there we do. We do have the water continuous one. Water continuous here. I don't know. We could do something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, this requires us to be like crazy rich. Fudge. We really didn't want him to plant. That's unfortunate. I'm not surprised, but it is unfortunate. I think we're just looking to do these guys. It's going to matter for water flow. No. I don't think we're going to wind up playing stream. It's not going to be enough time. So he's going to fill 2. If I plant, he fills 1. So if he plants and I plant and then he plants again, the game's over. So if I plant and he plants, we're going to be 2 cards short. But there's really nothing we can do about that. If I kind of like end up delaying the game a little bit and if he plants and then he plants, then when I plant... 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. When I plant, he's just gonna like finish it anyway. So 1, 2, 3, Yeah. He needs 3 left, so it's both of us planting. He also didn't lose any money, so he really could rush the end of the game here. We need some winner cards, yo. I think he's up to 5 now, so probably he can plant 3 cards if he wants to end the game. If I plant, then he plants. It's 3 cards planted. If I take an action and he plants... So essentially the question is whether I want to take an action. If he wants to end the game, like... If he wants to end the game's going to end. So the question is whether I want him to choose which action to take and I to choose which action to take. I feel like his action's kind of... Oh, his yellow action is worth 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points plus the normal yellow thing. So 9 points. And yellow is pretty bad for me. So it's 9 points if he chooses yellow. If I choose blue, it's... 2 points here, 2 points here, 4. So I need to score 13 for it to be worthwhile. Nebulous amount, 1, 2, 3, 4, plus like the 10, plus draw 2 cards. Kind of depends on what the cards are, if they're god cards. I do need some cash. I could maybe just like play out, you know, wetland or something like that. The other consideration with plant is if I plant and then he's broke. He's got 18 cards, 5 money. He's going to draw more cards, get more money. Probably, he gets 2 money. Yeah, the game's going to be over. I think I want there to be... I think I want us each to choose an action. I think this is going to benefit me. I'm not 100% sure on that counting, but I'm running out of time and patience with myself. Because I said he gets 9, and I just get soil, which is pretty bad. And 4, so I need 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. Or you could say this is probably less, but it's very nebulous to describe how much the soil is worth. So it's I think a really close call. And I guess I actually haven't really counted the value of doing the Chinese peony. I mean, it's kind of a wash, but okay. Let's relax, guys. Chive is useless. This is not a helpful draw either. Does cost us a fair number of points, but if we are correct that he's taking yellow later, we're going to be fixing this anyway. These cards I think are really good. These like diagonal cards, we're just going to play the mud pot out. There's no reason not to. I guess waiting is better, but I'll just exercise some impatience here. So these are normally very good, but having them earlier is helpful for figuring out where to set them up. You know, I don't even have any trees, so this is just 9 for 10 points, which is fine. Yeah, right. So, every diagonal is what, 4 points? So we still need our summer. This will connect these guys. Should have thought about this spearmint being in a bad spot for this. I was too focused on the mushrooms, but actually having problems there. Yeah, the potato paint is not great, but it is a winter. So I do have a kind of cute choice here. He's going to go up to 15 here. And You know, I could plant 2, and then he ends the game, and he gets the action of his choice. Or I could just not. Like, if I essentially like acknowledge that I'm just gonna sacrifice 1 card, play 1 fewer card, then and just to have that like that gaping hole. I need a summer as another card, and I need. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get the winter stuff. I maybe needed to think about. I needed like a winter mushroom was really this winter mushroom over here. Yeah, the card draws were tough for us. I maybe should have played the spearman here in retrospect. That would have solved a lot of my problems. But I was playing for the long game. I needed to notice that I was in trouble with time, and the spearman should be here. Now I have to play a winter here, and I'm gonna lose a card out of the glacier roll, which is a bummer. So, I mean, I'm planting wetland for sure. And then, like, I guess potato plant. Every one of these is worth 2 more, so it's like 4 more. The wetland's going to take most of our money, right? Like, that is how that goes. No points, 2 points, no points, 2 points, 2 points. So he makes 6 points, 7, 8 points. Whereas I make 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's barely better. But I don't have to eat points if I plant. What if I do red? He makes 1 point, 2 points. I make 2, 3, 4 points. 5, 6 points. Let's do red. Let's do red. We should have thought about that and played the ginger maybe instead. Three, 4, 5, 10 points. Yeah, we don't have a river or a stream. Fix this back up. And yep, we do this too. Eat you, eat a soil. Plant some victory points. Draw a card. It's actually a really good card, but not anymore. Like, it would be a dream to go right here, but I'm not going to get to place 2. So the question is whether he wants to take an action or end the game. I think he just ends the game, which was kind of the gambit that we had. But if he thinks that kind of prolonging the game is like better, that's fine for us, because then we will push to end the game because we did draw this, which is helpful. So that'll go there, and the wetland will go here. I think the wetland's going here pretty much no matter what, to connect these. And then, you know, if we're able to connect this right here, that's another 2, 4 for the mushroom by being diagonal, and another 4 for actually getting to include these. So it's 10 points to play this Roman brown right here. So if he doesn't end the game right now, you know, we're getting a little bit of extra plant action in it. It would be kind of wild to me if he doesn't end the game. I mean, he's got 10 soil. There's not a ton of cards that he could have in his hand that he's looking to play at this stage. Come on, Algebes. You're in charge. I think we're in trouble, but I don't think we're necessarily dead. See what his points here. A lot of zeros, a lot of zeros. He thinks that we should keep going. I don't need the $2, right? I said this is 10 points. This is going to be like 10 Oh no, this is interesting actually, because this could go there. What am I gonna get for money over here? 2 more. 22. Like instead of playing this, I could just play the river, which is worth like 10 points, and does the and this. It's actually better. I think I'm gonna still take these 2 points though. This is a tough call. I'm gonna make $2 here. And I need the $2. So I skip this. So in this instance, we're going to wind up eating 2. So normally, actually, it would be better to eat both of these, but we have a rainbow that's going to replace it. So. Okay. And then I guess we force the end of the game because we don't want to not use the soil that we could get. River. And wetlands. So our terrain points will help us out a lot. I don't know if it'll make up the delta of not finishing, all the kind of missed pieces there. We'd be looking for an event here. Obviously, he's not going to take the planting action, so it doesn't matter what we take. What did he play? Something expensive. That's bad. 3 per terrain. Oh, God. 3 per terrain. That was our difference there. Well, we are probably toast. He's going to take another blue action here. Or not. Yeah, I mean, we just kind of fell a little bit behind on the tempo early because we had no card draw. We were great for cash, and you know, he had all of his cash problems solved by, you know, this guy basically. You know, this draw is really good. He had kind of the cheap guys at the beginning. You see him like playing out. I mean, this is like a pretty mediocre card, but again, kind of on the cheaper side. And what is he? This is for brush. What's this? And he drew plenty of bushes as well to make, and he knows that he did the same sort of diagonal that I did. He chose blue again. I am fine with this, I guess. 1, 2. We do not have the soil for this. This is more like paying 3 points for 3 points. Well, we should do that. because we can just do our rainbow here. So it's 3 points for 2 points is what it is. And we made a mistake earlier taking the 2 points rather than the $2. Let's see. I guess fix that right now, because it's slightly better to turn the oh, well, I don't have room. For this, so we'll skip you because I'm out of space. All right, let's see the damage. I think we're lost here, but I think if he doesn't get this gigantic islands, 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6. This is the terrain too. 7, 21 points right there. If he's got something like a little bit more mediocre, like a 10-pointer or something, maybe he doesn't choose to do blue on the prior turn or whatever. But yeah, that 21 points obviously really, really hurts. I mean, maybe he was playing for that all game long. There's obviously just nothing that we could do about that. Maybe I should have earlier in the game gone to draw cards, but I think that still really throws me off tempo. I think stepping on the gas and just hoping to draw into something still felt like a pretty reasonable line. I'm wondering. Yeah, no, I'm not too unhappy with how he played. I can't think specifically of what we should have done differently. So if you're seeing something in what I played out or the actions I chose, I'd certainly love to hear that in the comments. Algabez here really dragging out the suspense in these final moments. What are you doing, brother? He's playing a heat wave. I guess this could be an argument for he's playing all sorts of stuff, earthquakes and fun things. I'm good. Let's see. Yeah, he played 2 more cards than we did. Those events at the end probably net more points than they didn't. Yeah, 21 points here. 21 points. Man, we were really, really, really close. GG. Really close. Like I said, it's basically... Oh, was it not a tie here? I thought it was a tie here. Oh, no. Extra 7 points for him ending the game, of course, Yeah, that wetland was very, very good. But yeah, I mean, even these, they score their 6 and 9. And I was talking about how good they are just for their powers. Like, they score 6 and 9 on top. These cards are just absolutely insane. Every single one of these split ones is absolutely worth it. But the 21 right there was the nail in the coffin. So even 2 cards short, we're only 8 points off here. Gap was on our personal. Yeah, were we supposed to take a different objective? Maybe if we took the objective with the sprouts, but I don't normally expect in a game that I'm going to play all 39 sprouts. That's pretty rare. Kind of was more based on the circumstances than anything else. So yeah, there you have it. Thanks for watching. I'll try to keep up with posting, but it's going to be a busy month, so we'll see how it is. And hopefully very soon we'll be at the new digs. Appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. Ciao.